Hi guys, in this video I am going to share with you my latest makes. I recently made an athleisure capsule wardrobe that consists of 6 pieces that together make 9 outfits, and I absolutely love what I was able to create. If I'm not a familiar face, hi, I am Tiffany of Tip Stitch, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I discuss all things sewing and DIY. Now that you know who I am, let's talk a little bit about how this whole thing got started. It really wasn't supposed to be a capsule wardrobe. I was actually on Fabric Mart Fabric's website because I'm on their mailing list, and I really shouldn't be because it always tempts me. And I was perusing the website and I saw this blue and white French terry fabric. Now, I was attracted to it for 2 reasons. 1, I love a cobalt blue, and 2, I love a geometric print, and then actually 3, I just love knits. So it was a problem. I also noticed that they had the solid blue and the solid white. So I wanted to take a minute and decide what I really wanted to make with this fabric because I was trying to be more mindful of buying fabric without a project in mind. So I can't remember if it was the next day or it was morning, and then I waited until the evening. When I checked back on the site, the fabric was almost gone because a lot of us love Fabric Mart. They're a great website, and I think maybe it had got put on sale too, so maybe it was the next day, and it was flying off the shelves. So I went ahead and got 4 yards of the pattern or the print fabric, the blue and white. I got 2 yards of the white, and there was only 1.25 yards or 1.5 yards of the blue left, so I snatched that up. I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to make. I thought a sweatsuit, either a hoodie and joggers or a zipper, a sweatshirt and joggers. So when the fabric arrived, I was actually extremely lucky because every piece of all 3 that I got were the end of the boat fabrics, and when they have that, they give you this little lucky you sticker, and it lets you know that you got the end of the boat. So basically, if I ordered 1.5 yards of the blue, but there was 2.25 yards on the bolt, they just go ahead and give me that extra 3/4 of a yard, because what's the point of saving that to try to sell to another customer, right? So I was super ecstatic, not only on the blue, but the white and the print. I got the lucky you. So I had about 1 yard extra of each of the colors that I purchased, which meant I could go from making a little sweatsuit to actually making several pieces. So at that point, I had to re-strategize and think about what I was going to make with these fabrics. I did do a digital sketch, as I always do. If you're not familiar with how I make these, I will link to my video that walks you through how to make these yourself. That's here on my YouTube channel. But I wanted to sort of plan it out because I still had to be strategic with the fabric I had. So what I knew for sure is that I wanted a sweatsuit set, right? So I decided to do the hoodie in the print, or the top in the print, because I just thought that would be nice. I also wanted to do the pants in the print, but the more I thought about it, I thought blue pants would maybe be more versatile than the print. And what if I decided that the print on print was just too much? So I decided to do the pants in blue because now I had enough fabric that I could make pants out of the blue, and I wanted to make the top with the print, and I was going to use McCalls 8447 for that. That changed. We'll talk about it later. And then I thought I would make Simplicity 9929 out of the white, and then I would make the Presley skirt from Made for Mermaids, designed by Aronica, out of the remaining print. So that was my plan going into it, and we're about to talk about how that changed. So I sort of started with what I knew I wanted for sure, and what I did know that I wanted was a white top, and that's mainly because I don't like to wear white bottoms. I'm always concerned that I'm going to sit in something and get them dirty, and so if I was going to have white, I wanted to use it for a top. And I had Simplicity 9929 in my stash for a while. It is a Mimi G for Simplicity athleisure pattern, and I bought it specifically for the top because I will never wear those pants. They're just too wide legged for me. But on sale for the $1.99, it was worth it to buy the pattern just for the top, because what I really liked was the drapiness of the neck, but it was still a really casual top because of the armbands. So I went ahead and put that pairing together. I will say that top is pretty easy to sew. It has pleats to create the cowl neck. And then the armbands are the only thing that might be a little bit tricky if you're a newbie sewist, but if you're an advanced beginner, I think it would be fine. And that's just because the armbands come together in a V, sort of like sewing a V-neck neckband in a t-shirt. And sometimes it can be hard to pivot and get that just right. The good thing about this is though, the V is underneath your arms. So like, even if it isn't really clean, your arms are gonna block it most of the time anyway. So it's not really as apparent as like a V in a t-shirt. So even if you're a beginner, I say give it a try. And then I like the fact that it's cropped and it has the hemband. I do think that it might come together a little bit better in a lighter weight knit. I think the drape would have a little bit more drapiness, if that's a word. But I think it turned out really cute. I still like it. So the next thing I made was the Made for Mermaids Presley skirt, and I wanted this skirt from the moment it dropped. It is designed by Aronica B. Cole, who is a friend of mine, and I absolutely love this skirt because who doesn't love a pleated skirt? Like, they're just a classic piece. As usual for Made for Mermaid patterns, there are a whole lot of options with this one. First of all, there are 3 lengths. You can do micro, mini, or knee length. And then there are 3 waistbands. So you can do a tall yoga band, a short yoga band, or a contour band. There's also an option to add little shorts, which is great if you decide to sew the micro length. And then both the skirt and the shorts can have pockets, both, either or neither, truly, depending on what you want to do. So I ended up sewing the contour waistband in a mini length with no pockets. I wanted to do the shorties, but I was trying to get the most that I could out of this fabric. So I decided that if need be, I would just wear shorts under it when I wore the skirt. Thankfully, the mini length isn't too short, so you don't really need the short. So it turned out absolutely fine. If you are a beginner sewer, the hardest thing about this pattern is going to be sewing the pleats, and I say hard in quotation marks because it's really rather simple. Made for Mermaids has a video tutorial as well as detailed instructions that come with the pattern that will walk you through how to do it. The markings are really easy to make, and basically the skirt is only 3 rectangles that you pleat and put together. If you don't add the shorts and you don't have the pockets and all that kind of stuff, I probably made this skirt in less than 2 hours, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, just because I sewed down each one of my pleats. I'll give it 2 hours, but I will definitely be making this again. I'm thinking I need at least 3 more. I'm thinking red, black, and like a leopard print at the minimum. Now, I know that we're going into the cooler weather, but 1, I live in Georgia. It's still 80 degrees here. And 2, I think that I'm gonna get some of those flesh colored, like nude fleece lined tights. I think melanated fleece tights or something like that. I've seen them on Instagram. If anybody's tried them, in the DMs, tell me if they're really as good as they look online. Because I think if I wear these with some fleece lined tights, then I can wear these skirts all through fall and winter. And that excites me. So remember how I said my original plan was the sweatsuit would be McCalls 8447? Well, I had just made McCalls 8447. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to make this in 8447, but I decided to go ahead and use the blue solid to make the pants. Now, originally I wanted print on print, which ended up working out in the end. We'll get there. But I decided blue would be more versatile. Like I could wear the blue pants with more of a variety of tops. So I decided to go ahead and make the joggers from McCalls 8447 in the solid blue. Now that pattern is by Brandy Joan, and it's a really cute pattern. I like it. Like I said, I had made it before, but I think what I forgot was the changes that I said I was going to make when I made it the first time. So the one thing I will say about this pattern is I don't think that the pattern actually looks like what it does on Brandy Joan on the cover. Not if you sew your size straight out of the envelope. And I first sewed the pants on Black Sewing Network's Sunday Service Live, and we all agreed that the crotch was a little low and it wasn't quite as fitted as we thought it was gonna be. So what I ended up doing this time is I sewed the extra large because I have a 48-inch hip, and I think the finished measurement is like 48 and a half. So I sewed the extra large because it wasn't supposed to be super tight in the hip, but what I did was from mid-hip or mid-thigh down to the ankles, I tapered in more of the leg because it was too loose in the leg for me. They were also a little long because on Brandy, they look very much like an ankle pant, and on me, being 5'5", the height patterns are theoretically designed for, they hit all the way like to my shoe. So I think the pattern's also long. If you're shorter than 5'5", you're definitely gonna have to shorten these, or they could be baggy, but it's not gonna look like the pattern envelope. That being said, the tapering sort of worked, but I actually think I needed to make the pants in a large and then taper it down to a medium in the leg, which is odd because I usually am an extra large in big 5 patterns. I don't know if I just want them to fit too tight, maybe, or maybe they're designed for a more stable knit, although I'm pretty sure French terry is on the back of that envelope. But as you can see, they're not too big for me to wear. They don't look like loose. I definitely would suggest that you sew a smaller crotch. So like if you wear an extra large like me, I would cut the line for the large crotch because the front crotch does seem to go low. I'm sure there's a much better way to adjust that, but that was my easy fix. So I was better with the crotch this second make, but they were still a little bit too loose. That being said, I'm not knocking this pattern. I think it's great, especially if you don't want them to fit tighter. I just know that if I made it again in a lighter drapier knit like a French terry or something like that, a sweater knit or something, I would go down a size. If I sew it in a very stable ponte or double knit, I might try the extra large again, or maybe I'll split the difference. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna keep working with this pattern until I can make it work because I like the overall style. I really like the pin tucks in the front as well as the slant pockets, and it has the elastic waist. I did omit the fly detail because it's a faux fly anyway. It's basically just a stitching line, so I did take that out. But all in all, these pants turn out okay. After finishing up the pants, I had about a yard of fabric left, which I really didn't expect. So I decided to sneak out an extra garment. Now I didn't have a lot. It was maybe a yard and an eighth, a yard and a quarter, but I knew that if I made the True Bias Jessie tee, it was only gonna take about a yard. So that is what I went with. I decided to make the crop version of that. It also is a hip line version, but it is a free pattern from True Bias. That's typically $16. I do think that you have to sign up for their email list or join their Facebook group, but it is worth it because it's a very cute top. I've sewn it many, many times. It is a boxy, sort of oversized crop tee with drop shoulders, big sleeves, and they stop at about your elbow. Very cute. Like I said, I've made it many times. So I knew that that would work with the pants because the pants are a little high-waisted, and because I typically pair a crop top with a high-waisted bottom, so it was going to be perfect. I did decide to add a little chest pocket, which isn't part of the pattern, and I don't remember where I snatched that from, but you could draft that yourself totally if you wanted to. And that came together really quickly, and I think it looks really great with the pants. All right, so originally, again, I said I was gonna make the top out of McCalls 8447, which is more of like a dolman sleeve sweatshirt, but it has a split front sleeve. And I initially planned on color blocking it. That's what I showed in my illustration. However, at this point, I didn't have any blue left. Since I decided to squeeze out that crop tee, I didn't really have a lot of blue knit left. So I had to change track on that, and I decided to make the Page Hoodie by Chalk and Notch. Now, the Page Hoodie, as the name states, is a hoodie pattern, but they do have an add-on for a crew neck as well as some pocket options. So there's a kangaroo pocket add-on, a chest pocket add-on, and then the neckband add-on if you just want to make it a sweatshirt and not a hoodie. But the original pattern does have some options too. They have 3 sleeves. One is slim, one is fuller, and then you can do a short sleeve. And then they have the option of the hemband at the bottom or the drawstring hem. All of them are really great options. I love a raglan sleeve, especially on a sweatshirt. Very comfortable, very cozy, very athletic looking to me. So I was really happy to make the Page top because I've made it before, so I knew it would work out fine. So I went ahead and, oh, and it also comes in cup sizes. So you do have a B cup and then a CD cup. So I went ahead and did the CD cup. I used the little bits of scrap of blue that I had left for the neckband and the armbands. And then I added like makeshift cording, because I just cut it myself, around the raglan sleeve part of blue. I did this mostly because I didn't want to match up the circles. And if they didn't match up perfectly, I wanted there to be a little bit of color to break the eye so that you didn't notice. I mean, I did a pretty good job, but it's always nice for it not to butt up completely against each other. So that worked great. But after I did all that, I didn't have any blue left to do the hemband. I thought about doing the hemband out of the overlapping circles fabric, but then I didn't like that because the neckband and the armbands were already solid blue. So I just went ahead and did the drawstring bottom, which I was a little disappointed about at first, but actually ended up working out really great. So yeah, if you need a hoodie or a sweatshirt pattern, definitely check out Chalk and Notch's Page Hoodie because it's a good one. Now, to my absolute surprise, I actually had enough of the print fabric to make one more piece, and I cannot tell you how ecstatic I was about that because I really did want to do a pattern on pattern, and I think that it's a lot for some people, but I like it together. So I had to decide at that point what bottoms I was going to make. And I hemmed and hawed about it for a little bit, but I ultimately decided to make the Made for Mermaids Winnie pants. Now, initially, I wasn't even gonna buy this pattern because I was like, I could probably hack a different pair of wide leg pants into this, but I always am pleased with my Made for Mermaid patterns, and they had a sale, so of course I bought the pattern, and I'm happy that I did because it's great. They have, I think, 6 hem lengths with this, so there's a short shorts, longer short, crop length, 28-inch pant, 30-inch pant, and 32-inch pant. And then I think there are 3 waistbands. There's like an elastic with a drawstring, a yoga or a contour. So anyway, there's 3 waistbands. You got a lot of options. And then you have the optional slant pockets on the front as well. So basically I sewed the elastic base waistband with the 30-inch inseam, although I did about a 2-inch cuff, so I wanted a little extra length. And what else? Oh, and I definitely added the pockets because pants. So I did those 3 things. That's sort of what you see here. I did eliminate the pin tuck because the pattern was so busy. I didn't want to worry about like lining up the pinstripe just right. That was going to be, I don't know, it was going to throw me off. So I didn't put the pin tuck in this pair. And I also sort of cheated the elastic waistband because I just used 2-inch wide elastic, fed it through, stretched the elastic, and stitched through the elastic every 1/4 of an inch, so 3 seams. And that's because I just didn't feel like feeding 1/4-inch seam through each one of the channels. That was gonna be too much work. And I don't think I had that much 1/4-inch elastic anyway, so no. But it worked just fine. It still gives it that same look of the elastic channel, so I'm very pleased with it, and I think it looks really great with the top as well. Now let's talk about each one of the 9 looks that you can get out of these 6 pieces. Starting with the white top Simplicity 9929, you can use this top with the Presley skirt as I already showed you. I think it's super cute. It sort of reminds me of like a tennis set, like you should be going to play tennis or pickleball since that's really popular now. Or, you know, you're looking like you want to be athletic even if you're not. I paired it with sandals here because I think that's really cute. It's summery, it's fresh. Don't know how much longer I'll be able to wear this if the temps actually drop, but I will be holding on to it until next spring for sure. I just think that this pairing is really cute. Simplicity 9929 can also obviously be paired with the pants from McCalls 8447, and I think the drapiness of the collar as well as the taperedness of the pants brings a little bit of elevated casual to this look. It gives you a little point of interest as well as the pin tucks on the pants. I've paired it with sneakers, but this would also go really great with flats. And it just gives you a pull together look, but super easy when you just pull 2 staples, a tee and a pant out of your closet to go out and run some errands. Here we have 9929 with the Made for Mermaid Winnie pants. I think this is a really cute look as well. It almost gives me like resort wear, like a really bougie lady going out to get her grocery from Publix. I don't know. It gives me a little bit dressed up again because of the cowl neck and the pants itself. The print just sort of gives me resort wear. So I think the 2 paired together work really well. I would probably keep this with the sneakers like I have on here because it's still giving you like casual but pulled together. We have already seen the True Bias Jessie crop tee with the McCalls 8447 pants. This works because it's tone on tone. It's giving you the overall blue. I chose to wear the Adidas with these too because I wasn't changing shoes for all these pictures, but I think that this would really pop with a different color shoe. maybe a yellow sneaker, maybe a solid white sneaker. You could do whatever you wanted with this because you just have the blue on the blue. And I think that the lines hit well. The hem of the crop tee goes well with the higher waisted height of the pants. So the two look really good together. Again, an elevated casual look. The Jessie tee with the Presley skirt might be one of my favorite looks. I actually wore these two together to my homecoming right after I finished the collection. My school colors are blue and gold, so I thought that the blue was appropriate. It was super hot that day. It was, well, it wasn't, it was in the 80s, but it felt really hot that day. We were outside all day, of course, tailgating, all that kind of stuff. So it was a really comfortable outfit to wear that day. It ended up being the total right choice. I got tons of compliments. I had a lot of fun with it. And how did I know that the kids, by kids, I mean like the little 20-year-olds, were wearing tennis skirts? So I was right on trend, even though I'm an old head. So it worked really well. And I think it's super cute how I paired it with the Adidas. I was trying to decide between these or some blue Chucks. I actually bought these sneakers on the way to homecoming because I didn't want to wear white sneakers. To get them dirty at the tailgate because it's like in a grassy area. So I didn't want to do that. So I was able to find these on the way to the game and was super excited about that because otherwise I don't know what I was going to do. But I also found a pair of Chucks that were probably closer to the blue than the Adidas were, but the Adidas just seemed like they were going to be more comfortable. And I like how it sort of gives like oversized, chunky with like the flirtiness of the skirt. But anyway, I thought this was super cute. I love this pairing together. The crop tee obviously works with the wide leg Winnie pants as well. This is again just like a real chill, throw it on, get out vibe. I feel like it's a little bit more casual looking than the white because the drapiness to me just adds a little bit of interest, whereas the crop tee is just like chill, like because it's a t-shirt. So to me, this is a little bit more casual, but they're both super cute. Now we've already seen the Paige sweatshirt with the Winnie pants, the print on the print. And I know this is a lot for some people, but for me, it's perfect. Because again, I like a geometric print. I like bold colors. So I like being maximalist sometime. And this sort of gives me that vibe. The print on print just really pops. And I'm actually happy that I did the drawstring on the sweatshirt and not the pants because 2 drawstrings would have been too busy. So I think this comes together really nicely. Now, if you're a person who doesn't like the print on print, this might be a better pairing for you. We have the Paige sweatshirt with the McCalls 8447 pant. This is probably my least favorite pairing of the 9, and I don't know why that is exactly. But something about it proportionally sort of seems a little off to me, but I'll still wear it. It works. And then lastly, we have the Paige sweatshirt with the Presley skirt. And I was most unsure about this combo because I feel like I look like my high school senior aged daughter who loves to wear the big sweatshirts with the little shorts, which drives me crazy. But I think this looks cute together. And I think that's again because I really like the print on the print. And if I had some tights, some fleece line tights, I think that this would make a little bit more sense. Because personally, I'm probably not going to be hot enough to wear the skirt, but cold enough to wear the hoodie at the same time. Actually, I could probably wear the skirt most of the time. I would be too hot in the hoodie on a lot of days. I would want to wear the skirt, but I like the two together and I think it's super cute. So with tights, I think it'll work. As the temps drop, I can keep the skirt and that'll work. So it's not the most practical combo of pieces, but I really like it. All right, so that is all 9 looks. And like I said, I'm pretty much in love with all of them. So the way that I was able to do 3 tops and 3 bottoms, I think really worked out well because you get the 9 distinct looks. And for the tops, I have a tank, a tee, and a hoodie. And then for the bottoms, I have a wide leg pants, a tapered pant, and a skirt. So when I start pairing these together, none of them really look like repeats. They all sort of have a unique individual look. And that's what I'm most pleased about with this collection, because with it just being 2 colors, blue and white, that's sort of hard to pull off. And lastly, let me know if you enjoyed this video. I'm trying to make it like a recap and a pattern review at the same time. So if you saw a pattern that you liked in this collection, you can have my thoughts. Of course, I keep all my thoughts written down on my blog post. So if you want more details, head on over to tipstitch.com where you can find the blog post on this whole collection. I'll link to everything in the description box below as well, but the links and everything can be found on my blog site. So let me know if you want more of these types of videos in the future. If so, I'll be sure to make some. And until next time, happy sewing. Bye. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching and happy sewing.